This is WinFM 98.9, your sports station and your radio station. I'm here talking to Frank Keefer. Frank, welcome to St. Kitts and Nevis. Talk to me and tell us how you got involved to find out about St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, I'll tell you, about 23 years ago, I was working for a major company in the U.S. and we got a contract with another major U.S. company. And as we were awarded that contract, I was supposed to move down here for 2 years. Well, lo and behold, everybody in the headquarters went bananas and decided to jump on it and make it a house account. Otherwise, I'd have been here 23 years ago. So I always felt like I missed something, and then not too long ago, my good friend Bill Flashell bought this place down here and invited us down. And that's kind of it. And I came down and was immediately impressed with the people. I've been all over the world, and the people here are as friendly and as welcoming and as any place I've ever been. And everybody really cares about the community, and that sticks out. I love it.
Tell us about Frank. Who is Frank?
I'm an old guy. I'm 65 years old. I grew up as a war orphan. I never knew my dad. I lost him in World War II. And we were, today you'd call it impoverished, although I didn't know the difference. I never saw indoor plumbing or electricity until I was about 6 years old. And there's a lot of people in that situation, but you don't see that too much anymore in the States. And I always had a desire to go out and better myself. And when I graduated from high school, I joined the military and got caught up in Vietnam. I got wounded a couple of times, so I decided that's probably not a good career choice. So I came back and I went through college and climbed the corporate ladder and owned a number of different businesses in the last 40 years or so, and I've been very blessed to be successful.
Now, you're talking about American. You would have had to be involved somewhere in sports. So tell us about your sporting background.
Okay, I always wanted to play professional football. And when I went to high school, because I was self-supporting, I never had an opportunity. But somehow I got caught up in sport parachuting, and it was at its infancy in those days. And it was just something that I had a natural talent to. This was the free fall parachuting. And I was on a 10-man team. As a matter of fact, I was the co-captain of the UK-USA team. And we competed internationally, and it was fun. And I stayed with it, and I would probably still be with it. But unfortunately, I ended up getting a divorce, and I got custody of my children. And I was advised that I couldn't have my children if I considered doing something as crazy as jumping out of airplanes. But while I was in the sport, I rose to the top. I was one of the top 12 rated people in the world, actually, at the time, and loved it, and coached the Naval Academy and a few college teams, and I was on some local teams too.
Now, how did you get involved in writing? Because this seems to be another side that you haven't told us about.
Get involved in what? I'm sorry.
In writing of books.
Oh, in writing a book. I suppose I always wanted to write a little bit, and I decided to put some stuff together for my kids. So when they got older, you know, they maybe they would reach the point where I knew something, because you know, kids know more than their parents. And my kids are grown now; they're 39 to 44 years old. So I started writing, and then I got involved in a magazine project, and we became the #1 business publication on the newsstand. And as a matter of fact, we were #1 startup publication in 1999. We were in 22 countries. Unfortunately, the magazine met its demise when one of the people on the corporate team absconded with the money. But at any rate, when the magazine went under, I got a lot of requests from around the country to continue writing articles. Well, I had so many articles already written, so I compiled them and put them in a book, and it did very well. And the book was primarily based for home-based business entrepreneurs, but I found a lot of people in traditional business enjoyed the book, so I wrote several more. And the books were based on different periods of my life. The chapters were 3 or 4 pages long for the most part, and I would relate situations that happened to me and how I addressed them, and then relate that message to becoming successful in business or in life. And then I ended up writing a couple how-to books, The Tao of Success and How to Become a $1 Million Earner, which are pretty much manuals rather than books of parables and anecdotes and things of that nature.
You're speaking to Vernon Springer right now. How can Vernon Springer at 46 become a $1 million earner in the Caribbean?
You have to read my books. You read my books and you call me and ask me questions. But I think the books are pretty self-explanatory. I'm a guy that really believes into basics. I'm not always smart as people think I am. I've been successful, and I think that's because I've reduced things. I happen to be a fourth-degree black belt in martial arts, so I have the master level, but I'm certainly no Bruce Lee. But what I did was adopt one or two techniques that worked well for me and my personality and just rehearse them over and over again. And I did that in a couple different disciplines. And the same thing is true in business. If you learn a couple philosophies, like time management, for example, put your effort and time into activities that produce results rather than just take up time, you'll be successful. Surround yourself with positive people. Always be ethical, always tell the truth. These things are fairly simple, but a lot of times people think to get ahead they may need to fabricate something or embellish something, and none of that's necessary because your success is based on your reputation.
Now, you've been journeying around the world.
Yes, I have.
You have seen St. Kitts and Nevis now as maybe, hopefully, a stepping stone where you can maybe think about enhancing and maybe even continuing your project here. You hope to come back maybe soon?
Yeah, I really like the place. Obviously it's beautiful, but it's the beauty of the people that's really what's attractive. And that means a lot to me. When I go down the street and I see people waving to each other, that means something because I come from a rural background, farm people. And that's the way we are. And today you don't see that too much anymore in the city. Everybody's running here and running there and caught up in their own thing. And you don't see that caring that you see where Gingy and I live in Maryland. It's like that. But it's like that here, only there's more people involved in it. And it's very exciting for me.
Well, Frank, I want to thank you very much for this first part of the interview with Win FM 98.9 Win TV. And hopefully we'll get into a little bit more details about your book and, the breakdown. But the folks who maybe log on to www.winnfm.com, this is Vernon Springer speaking to Frank Keefer. Frank, welcome to St. Kitts and Nevis again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.